There are four types of majorities under Indian Constitution. So today we'll be discussing about this four. That is simple majority, absolute majority, effective majority, special majority. So now let's go and start with the first, that is the simple majority. Here I'm dividing fashion here in a sense like we'll be first learning with the pattern. What is this pattern? It is talking about the working mechanism, how simple majority works, what are the requirements, and we will see where do we apply this, where do we use simple majority. It may be in passing the bill or resolutions or motion, whatever the case. So let's begin with the pattern or the working mechanism of the simple majority. Here first what we have to understand is about the rule of the majority. Rule of the majority is for the bill to be passed or resolution or the motion to be passed, first condition that we have to have is it must be passed by more than 50% of the member present and voting. What does it mean? Let's take an example and understand more. If here say the Lok Sabha strength is 545, the member present is 500, the member abstain from voting is 40. So the present and voting would be 500 minus 40, that is 460. But as per the rule for simple majority, what it says is 50% member present and voting, means more than half of the member present and voting. What are the member present and voting? 460. Half of the 460 is 460 divided by 2, that is 230. Since the rule says more than 50, means more than 50% of the 460 means half of the 460 plus 1. Simple as that. That is 231. So if here in this particular example, if you have 231 members, then you can have the simple majority. That means you can pass the bill. That is all about the simple majority here. Now let's look into how, where do we apply simple majority. Here the number one is whenever there is silence on the type of majority, we assume it is simple majority. Means in the constitution, if there is no specific mention about types of majority to be followed on the subject matter when it is passed, then we follow simple majority while passing that subject matter or while passing a bill related to that subject matter. That is what the point number one says, or the application number one says. Second is we can't use the simple majority while passing ordinary bill, financial bill, money bill, no confidence motions or censure motions, the election of the speaker, or the joint session of the parliament. Here I want to mention one thing. While electing the speaker will utilize a simple majority, but while removal of the speaker, we cannot use the simple majority. We have to use effective majority, and I have discussed already in some other video. So listen in there if you have no idea about it. And in joint sessions, we have to go for simple majority, creation of new states, delimitation of constituency, etc. So these are the application and many more. We can go for many more. I'm just shortening it. So many more, in many more subject matters, many more bills and motions, we can go for this type of things. I mean like simple majority. Now let's go across to the next type of majority. That is absolute majority. Absolute majority is also called as majority of the whole house. So let's understand the pattern. Here the pattern is more than 50% of the total strength of the house. When the rule of the majority says more than 50% of the total strength of the house, it is not about total member present and voting. It says about total strength of the house, and you must have 50% of the total strength of the house. Only then you can go for absolute majority. Let's take an example. So for example, Lok Sabha has 545. So here what it says, total strength, they must have 50% of the total strength. The 50% of the total strength means half of the total strength. Here 545 is the total strength, half of the 545 means 2. Then since it says more than 50%, you have to go 50% of the 545 plus 1, which comes about 273. So if you have 273 members, only then you can go for absolute majority. But the reality picture of the application will come now again. because right now exclusively alone absolute majority is not used for passing any bill or others. I mean, it is not used exclusively alone while passing any bill. Next is what we can understand is, say for example, to make the government stable, what do we need? Half the magic number. We call the magic number, I mean, more than the magic number is simply half the total strength of the house. Say for example, if you have a Lok Sabha, for that matter, 545 here, that means the magic number is 273. If you don't reach 273, then you cannot form the government. So absolute majority is talking about half, more than the half of the total strength of the house. That much only, and it has got no application as of moment when it comes to using it exclusively, single-handedly alone. That's what you have to understand. Now let's go for the next majority. The next majority is effective majority. Here in the effective majority, the rule is more than 50% of the effective strength of the house. So what is this effective strength? Effective strength is the strength of the house minus vacancies, and effective majority is the half of the effective strength plus 1. There is more than half of the effective strength of the house is what we know as effective majority. Let's take an example and know it more. Here, say for example, Rajya Sabha strength is 245. Total vacancy is 45. Maybe some might have died, some might have resigned. So now turns out to be 45. So this effective strength is effective strength. Here, effective strength is effective strength of the house minus vacancy. So strength of the house is 245. Vacancy is 45. So 245 minus 45. Now you got 200 members. What is the 200 members? 200 members is the effective strength. The effective strength is the 200. Now, as per the formula of the effective majority, half of the effective strength plus 1. Half of the effective strength is means to half of the 200 plus 1. Half of the 200 means 100 plus 1 means 101. If we have 101 members, particularly, I mean, based on this example, then you can go for effective majority. Means by passing the bill, if there is a requirement for effective majority and you have the 101 as per the example here, then you can go for effective majority. You can take this tool into. That's what I'm saying. Now, let's go for, let's understand why do we apply. Here, very important, please listen tight. Effective majority is used by the Rajya Sabha while passing resolutions for the removal of the president. If you want to remove president, first what we have to do is that effective majority, resolution by effective majority must be first passed in the Rajya Sabha. Only after that it can be transmitted to the Lok Sabha, where the Lok Sabha has to pass that particular resolutions by a simple majority. That is what it is saying. So effective majority is very much important, and it's used for removal of the Vice President of India. Next case. In the next case, what we can understand is it is used for removal of the passing a resolution for the removal of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Deputy Chairman of the Legislative Assembly. What it simply says is, it simply says while removing the presiding officers of the houses of the respective houses, be it Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, or for that matter, if you comes down towards the Legislative Assembly or Legislative Council, simply it says while removing the presiding officers of the respective houses, the type of majority we use is effective majority. That is what it is saying all about. So let's go to the next type of majority. Here we found special majority. So special majority will, before we discussing about the pattern or the sort of working mechanism of the special majority, Let me tell you, special majorities are now dividing into type 1, 2, 3 for the convenience. So I'll first take up the type 1. Let's see the rule of the type 1. Here in the type 1, what it says is not less than 2/3 of the members present in voting. It is not saying 2/3 of the total strength of the house. It is saying 2/3 of the members present in voting. So let's take an example. Here in the example, what we see is, say Lok Sabha is 545, present is 530, abstain from voting is 20. So the total member present and voting, as it says here, present and voting. The present and voting is 530 minus 20, because 530 is the present, absent 20. So 530 minus 20. Now 510 go for the voting. Either you vote for or against the vote. That's a different thing. You go for the voting. Simple as that. But normally it must be, I mean, if we are to follow the special majority, at least of the total voting, there is 2/3 of the members in present. The winning must be taken, whether the bill is to be passed or not. Now, yeah, we have already known that it must be not less than the 2/3 of the members present and voting. Here the members present and voting is 510. 2/3 of the 510 members is 340. Since it says not less than, that means 340 can also be working. It doesn't say more than 2/3, it said not less than. That means even 2/3 is also working. So 340 is okay for that. So that is all about the working mechanism of the special majority type number 1. Now let's see, where do we apply this. Here first we have to understand is special majority type 1. Under article 241, it authorizes, and the Rajya Sabha can authorize the parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list, and parliament thereafter can make a law on that subject, and such bills shall be valid for only 1 year. If we are to continue for the next step, then the resolution has to be passed again in the same continuation of the resolution, or continuation of the particular bill has to be passed again or moved in again. So under article number 241, we follow the special majority type 1 for the Rajya Sabha to authorize the parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list. There is a number 1 application. Number 2 application is under article 312. Rajya Sabha can pass a resolution to create or abolish holiday services. That means Rajya Sabha can take the simple majority type 1 and go for a resolution or to pass for a resolution to create or abolish all in the services. That's all about the application of the special majority type 1. Now let's go across to the type 2. Here under type 2, the rule is not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting, that which we have followed in the type 1, plus it must satisfy the second condition called absolute majority. The absolute majority, we have already discussed that absolute majority is more than the half, I mean like not necessarily more than, means half of the total strength of the house. That is it. This is 545 somewhere to 73. That's what we require for the absolute majority. So in the special majority, the rule is or the condition is there must be not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting, and that number should also satisfy absolute majority. It simply means that the total member not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting must be more than 273. Let's take an example and understand more. Here an example, say Lok Sabha has 545 members. In condition number 1, I'm going to teach you 2 conditions. Now in the condition number 1, present and voting, let's say, is 450. Now 2/3 of the present and voting is, present and voting it was 450. Now 2/3 of the present and voting is 300, and this is more than 273, which is absolute majority. That means the bill can be passed. if there is a present and voting number as 300, or the 300 members are voting for the bill in the parliament or in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha for that matter, then the bill can be passed. That's what it is saying in the case number 1. In the case number 2, what it says is present and voting number is 300, and so the 2/3 members of the present and voting is 200. So here it satisfies the first, there is no less than 2/3. So it means 2/3 no less than 2/3. It satisfies the part 1. But here in the part 2 it talks about the absolute majority. But the absolute majority is 273, and your 200, which is 2/3 of the total member present and voting, is much below than 273. That means below the 273 or the absolute majority. So it doesn't satisfy the second conditions of the rule. Since it doesn't satisfy the second rule, even if you are having the 2/3 of the total member present and voting, you cannot pass the bill using this special majority type number 2. That is what it is saying. So let's go to the application part. According to article number 368, what we have to do is we have to pass the bill only when we have special majority case number 2 or the type number 2. Here it says for passing of the constitutional amendment bill we need special majority type 2. And then the next is for the passage of the resolution of the both houses of the parliament for the removal of the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court, use control of the Director General, Chief Election Commissioner, State Election Commissioners. That's all about it. And for the approval of the national emergency, what do we have to use? We have to use the special majority. The criteria are not less than 2/3 members present and voting plus absolute majority. Simply says the number must be more than 273. Your 2/3 members present and voting can be 273, but must be more than 273. Only then you can satisfy both and can go for the special majority. That is what it is saying. So that's all about special majority type 2. Let's go for the special majority type 3. This is very important. Please stay focused. Here the rule says not less than 2/3 of the total strength of the house. I'm going to take an example here. Say here the Lok Sabha is 545. Now since total strength is 545, 2/3 of the total strength is 363. That means it's one of the toughest. Okay, it's not one of the toughest, it is the toughest. So 360, only if you have 363 members, you can go with this special tool called special majority type 3. There is nothing as type 1, 2, 3 mentioned. I'm just mentioning it for the sake of understanding and easy understanding. So this is about not less than 2/3 of the total strength of the house. And please, if you don't understand, look at the example very carefully. You might very easily. So let's understand where do we go for this type of special majority. Means where do we apply this? It is used in the impeachment of the president. If you want to impeach president, you must have 362 members in the Lok Sabha, or in the Rajya Sabha you have to have 2/3 of the total strength of 245 for that matter, or you can say 250, but for the sake of practical understanding say 245. I want to tell you one thing about the special majority type 3. That is, this is the toughest of all the majorities. Now let's go across to one of the special majority that we need to understand, is since we are living in a federal structure or the federal country. Let's go ahead. This is all about special majority with state concerned. This is related to those bills that concerns the need or the consent of the state. Well, the parliament cannot simply do away, or parliament cannot simply decide anything based on their wishes and whims, but needs to take the ratification from the state, and that is about more than half of the state. If half of the state says yes to that particular bill after being passed from the parliament, then we can go for it. That's what I'm saying. Say regarding GST, it affects the state excise, so we need to take consent from the order consent from the state. That is almost half of the state. We have 29 maybe 15. We require 15 state legislative assembly passing the bill as right, or the passing the bill that has been already passed by the parliament. If there is the case only, then we can go, or we can make the bill as an act. So now let's learn about the pattern of the special majority with step ratification. Rule is that not less than 2/3 of members present and voting, and it must be passed separately by both the houses. That is, the Lok Sabha has to pass 2/3 of the 2/3 of the members present and voting in the Lok Sabha has to pass it, and also here in the state majority, what we find is consent of the more than half of the state legislative assembly of the entire states in the country has to go for it, and they have to pass it by simple majority. That is the rule. Now let's see where do we apply. We apply if you want to change, or if the parliament wants to change anything listed in the 7th schedule. 7th schedule means about union list, state list, conference, whatever the power divisions here. If there is to be a change, in the 7th schedule, then we check the state council, and there we call that majority, special majority with state council. Number 2 is representation of the states in the parliament. That time also we have to go for this type of majority. The next is election of the president. The president is not only for the what? For the parliament or the union government. It's also for the entire country. That means it has to take a kind of consent from the state of the within the country. At the moment we have 29, at least 15 or 16, 15 more for that matter. We have to take consent from the state. Only that election, the procedures or whatever the things related to the election of the president can be changed if we want to change. That's all about it. So that's all about a special majority with state ratification. I have discussed all along. Special majority type 1, 2, 3, and special majority with state ratifications, absolute majority, effective majority, and simple majority, their mechanisms and their applications in our parliament. Now I want to go to the questions of the day, but before I go to that question of the day, I just want to say that the bill, the majority type that I have discussed here must go thoroughly. You don't need to take up any books. I have listed all the important element here. By knowing all the steps that I am mentioning here, you can simply say bye bye to the books. You can just be satisfied with my lecture here, because I have gone through so many books and listing you all the important things, and that's all. So now let's go to the question of the day. Question of the day, it reads as, for the removal of the, here it is given in statement 1. Follow me, let's read together. For the removal of the Vice President of India, the first resolution must be passed by the Lok Sabha. Let's not read further. Here we got a mistake. For the removal of the Vice President of the first resolution must be passed by the Rajya Sabha, not the Lok Sabha. Only when the resolution is passed by the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha has to pass it by simple majority. So statement number 1 is wrong, and I have already explained this in my lecture. That is an effective majority. Here you will see it. So rewind if you don't understand and see for yourself. Now statement number 2 reads that effective majority in the Rajya Sabha can authorize Parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list. So guys, effective majority has nothing to do with the authorization to the Parliament to make laws on a subject matter in the list. Why should we read the entire? Let's not waste time. When the statement 2 itself is also wrong, and I have only explained this in the special majority type 1. Here, Rajya Sabha can authorize the Parliament to make laws on a subject in the state list, and Parliament can make a law on that subject thereafter, and such law should be valid for only 1 year. And I have explained this very well in the special majority type 1. If you don't understand, rewind and see for yourself. So Here we'll get the correct answer. See, let's see the options. Both statement 1 and 2 are right. This is wrong because both are wrong. Statement 1 is right. This is also wrong. Statement 2 is right. This is also wrong. None of the above. So we don't find any correct answer. So ultimately, the options or the correct answer is none of the above. That is option number D. That's all for today. I will come with more videos, more interesting videos. Stay tuned. Please do subscribe, share, and like my videos, my lecture. I invite you to do that. And until then, until the next episode, see you. Bye-bye.